Good morning, great Americans. This is another great American video from the bunker in Kentucky. This is just a quick add-on to my recent video, which I just recorded 2 days ago. It's called Another Rendezvous with Destinies, or, remembering Ronald Reagan's famous Rendezvous with Destiny. Very famous speech. People ought to watch it if you haven't seen it, especially some of you younger folks, if you haven't seen Ronald Reagan's Rendezvous with Destiny speech, but it was given at a pivotal point in time. And of course, we all know Ronald Reagan went on to become one of the greatest presidents. He was elected in 1980. Very important. And now we have another rendezvous with destiny. America is now on the brink of destruction because of Biden's terrible, horrible, socialist, Marxist, anti-American policies. He is destroying this nation from every angle, whether it's energy, whether it's inflation and food prices, whether it's perverts destroying the minds of children in schools. Letting China run amok. His kid, he's all involved in corruption and stuff in the Ukraine and China and other stuff. And the military is going woke. I mean, every which way you look, Biden is destroying this country. And in my last video, and so we are at another pivotal point in history. And so that's why I called it Rendezvous with Destiny. We have to vote the Democrats out. We just have to. But my last video addressed a lot of specifics about what Biden has done. And in this quick video, I just want to address a couple of broader concepts about Democrats in general. Now, folks, if you're there's not many people on the fence anymore. Most people are on one side or the other. So if you're already a Republican, then you pretty much know just about everything I'm about to say. If you're a hardcore Democrat, you're probably going to not even watch my video, and that's a shame. If you're a Democrat or an independent with an open mind, willing to listen, then I ask you to listen to this and think about this seriously. When you hear Democrats talking about Republicans on social media and fake news like CNN, you never actually hear them talking about fundamental policies, because policies are what, in the end, are what is important. Policies are going to drive America in one way or the other. Economic policies are either going to give us a good economy or bad. Military policy, foreign policies are either going to give us a peaceful world or a bad world. Policy is everything. Now, I want you to think for a minute. When you hear Democrats talk about Republicans, you never hear fundamental policies. They are always attacking personalities, insults, lies about racism and hate, and they're dangerous. All these sort of nebulous things that are not actual facts. Oh, Trump's a racist. Oh, he's dangerous. Oh, if you vote for Republicans, it's the end of democracy. All that stuff is hyperbole. There's not a single fact in any of that. Not a fact. Listen carefully and think. Are they talking about facts, policies? Are they talking, when they talk about taxes, are they actually talking about tax rates and how tax rates affect the economy? Or are they engaging in insults and fear tactics and hatred with all kinds of name calling and all that other stuff? Because now let's attack. I'm just going to pull out about 3 or 4 policies for you to think about. First of all, the border. Now, when you hear a Democrat talk about Republicans at the border, they're usually, oh, you're a racist. Oh, you're a xenophobe. Oh, you just hate, you hate brown people. All these fear and hateful propaganda, but you never hear facts. The facts is that the border is out of control, and we are absorbing too many illegal aliens into this country that we just can't handle. And it has nothing to do with race or color. As a matter of fact, there was a recent story in the Los Angeles Times that said a record number of Chinese had crossed the Mexican border illegally. Yes, that's correct. Chinese are using them because the world knows that it's a weak spot. And if you want to sneak into America, make your way to Mexico, and then you sneak across the borders. It's nothing to do with race, nothing to do with hate and all that stuff. It has to do with the law. It is illegal to sneak in illegally, obviously, right? Now, Republicans have always welcomed immigrants who come legally, but you can't, but they're pouring across the border. So that's a fact. See, now you juxtapose that fact, right? That fact of Democrat policy, which means the border is out of control. You juxtapose that to what they say about Republicans, and then, oh, you hate brown people, you see the difference? You see how we talk about policy and they talk about just fear and hate and stuff, but they never talk about policy, right? So let's talk about a couple of other ones. Gasoline prices, they tried to blame it on Putin. They tried to blame it on this. They tried to blame it on that. The fact is very simple. Trump's energy policies had made us, for the first time in decades, energy independent. When Biden took office, he reversed those policies. And now we have soaring gas prices. It's very simple. Anybody who says the president does not control gas prices is a liar. He doesn't control them directly, but what he does is by way of his policies, he influences the market reacts to his policies, and then you get the bad prices, right? So you got a good president with good energy policies, the market likes that, and supply goes up and the price goes down. Then you get a bad president like Biden with bad energy policies. He shuts things down. He shuts down drilling. He shuts down all kinds of stuff. And then the market does not like that. Supply goes down and the prices go up. So by all means, the president is directly responsible for the high gas prices. And then he tried to blame it on Putin. And the sad thing is that the fake news goes along with him. And most Americans many Americans who don't have time to sort these issues out, they believe it. And that's a shame. But let's think about what the Democrat Party stands for. Okay, they stand for abortion. That's a violation of human rights. Now, if you're pro-choice, you got a serious issue with human rights if you think it's okay to kill an innocent human being. And don't play word games with me about zygotes and fetuses and clumps of cells. And that's all bullshit. A human being is a human being, regardless of their stage of development. If I'm a 90-year-old old man, or I'm a 40-year-old middle-aged man, or if I'm a teenager, or if I'm a kid, or a toddler, or a baby in the crib, all these different stages of development don't matter. I have human rights. I have the right not to be murdered. And that's what abortion. So if you're, so number one, Democrats are pro. Number two, they are pro-sodomy. Let's face it. That's what homosexuals are. It's sodomy. And no Christian, no Muslim, and no actual believing, actual practicing Jew, none of them can vote Democrat and really and look God in the face when you promote sodomy and it's just not, well, anyway, that's a whole other story. But I mean, actually, usually I don't go religious on that topic. I usually stick with science. And the fact is that homosexuality is a mental disorder, and Democrats have now encapsulated it into an acceptable, well, it's not, but it's a whole other story. But Democrats are socialists. Let's go there. We know they're socialists. Bernie Sanders is an open socialist, and he was about to win the Democrat primary before the bigwigs stepped in. And so he's an open socialist. Most Democrats are closet socialists, or they go right up to the edge before they use the word socialism, but their policies are socialist. So the open borders, like grooming, they're pro, big spending, inflationary practices, you name it. They're the Democrats are the party of open borders. They're the party of socialism. They're the party of sodomy. They are the party of abortion. Okay. They are the party of mobs in the street who beat people up. BLM, and which is a Marxist organization, by the way, as we all know. Did you know that Black Lives Matter website is in favor of getting rid of the family, the regular family unit, mom, dad, and the kids, and they promote homosexual and transgenderism? What does that have to do with Black lives? Well, why does Black Lives Matter even involved in that? Why would Black Lives Matter want to destroy the traditional family unit? Think about that. Because Black Lives Matter, like many left-wing extremist organizations, they hide under a name that has nothing to do with what they're really about. Black Lives Matter, the official organization, has nothing to do with Black people. It's just like NOW, the National Organization for Women, nothing to do with women. They all promote extremist left-wing policies, and they hide under the blanket of these names. So that way, if you attack them, they can call you a racist or a misogynist. And then here we go again with all the name calling, right? And so that's how they work. So like I said, Democrats are the party of socialism, sodomy, abortion. They're the party of open borders. They're the party of mobs in the streets. They are the party of canceling your free speech to the best of their ability. They collude with politicians to knock the other side down off of social media, to silence them in the media, to not represent them correctly in the news, to spread fake news. You can't get real news these days, except on Fox and selected radio stations and websites and stuff. So we are living, I mean, when I said earlier at the beginning that the Democrats have brought us to the brink of destruction, I mean it. For all intents and purposes, we are living in a Marxist state with state-controlled media. You don't get real news. If you watch, let me tell you something. If you watch CNN or MSNBC, and you think you're actually getting news, you're out of your gourd. You're not getting any news. And then they throw up these couple of little token fake Republicans who are not Republicans. Like Joe Scarborough on Morning Joe. That fool calls himself a Republican. That asshole is a left-wing extremist radical. Plus, he's an asshole too. I really, so let me tell you something. You want to immerse yourself in the facts? I suggest doing a couple of things. Watch Mark Levin. He's really good, and read his book, American Marxism. Will tell you where we're going. Watch Mark Levin. Watch The Next Revolution on weekends on Fox News. He's really good. And Jesse Waters, weeknights, and is on weekends, and he's really good on Fox News. And so I would suggest those. But anyway, back to my original, I kind of strayed off the point. I'm sorry. My original point was that Democrats engage in hyperbole and propaganda and insults and stuff, but they never discuss policies. Because when you discuss actual Republican policy, we win every time. Open borders or not open borders, it's a no-brainer. You enforce the law. You don't allow people to sneak in illegally. The Republican position is to enforce the law, not let people pour over. How can anybody not be on that side? How can anybody be in favor of pouring over the border? All right. How about the groomers in the schools? What business does a homosexual teacher have talking to my 5-year-old kindergarten child about his sexual lifestyle? Boy, I tell you what, man, if I saw that happening, somebody's in for an ass beating. You know, it is, you have no place as a teacher in school to talk about sexual lifestyles of any kind to a child. It's not your place. And the fact that Democrats defend them like they did in Florida tells you what they're all about. And you can bet your ass, I'll bet anyone any money right now, you will not find a grooming transgender or homosexual teacher who engages in that activity. They're not Republicans. Guarantee you, they're all Democrats. So you know, the place for morals and sexual teaching and stuff is in the home with the family. School is for the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic, like they used to say in the old days. Teach my kid to read, write, do arithmetic, engage them in some sports, keep them in. And then when I get home from work, I'll teach my kid about sex and moralities and stuff. You just keep your friggin' nose out of it. So again, that's a fact. Now the Democrats will engage in hate and hyperbole and say, "Oh, you're just a phobia, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe," all the name calling, but they won't address the simple fact that a teacher has no business teaching a little child or even talking to a little child about sexual lifestyles. See, these are facts, simple facts, okay? Here's a simple fact for you. John F. Kennedy, great Democrat, he once famously said, and correctly said, that it is, it's a fact that when you lower taxes, you increase revenue. Now, most Democrats, they keep wanting to raise your taxes to pay for things. They don't seem to understand the simple concept that when you lower taxes, you increase revenue. Now, you may say to yourself, well, how's that possible? If I lower taxes, how am I increasing revenue to the government? Simple. Lower taxes spurs the economy. It spurs real economic growth, right? And when there's real economic growth, there's more jobs. People go to work, they pay their income taxes. When there's real economic growth, there's more economic activity and people are buying things and they're paying taxes. And then more taxes come into the government. So a healthy, powerful, strong economy brings in lots of revenue to the government, and you achieve that by lowering taxes. But see, Democrats don't do that because they're socialists and they're idiots. Instead, they raise taxes, they hurt the American worker, they hurt the economy, and we're in the mess that we're in now. Okay, so yeah, so those are just a few things right there. Just always listen to what a Democrat says about a Republican and think to yourself, are they talking about actual policy and facts? Okay, or are they engaging in hatred and stuff like that? And they engaged in insults, hyperbole, propaganda, or are we actually dealing with facts? Here is a fact. Go back and look at some old NPR or a public television articles and stuff. Trump gave us the lowest unemployment in 50 years. Oh, here's another one for you. Trump gave us the lowest unemployment in 50 years. That is a fact. You can look it up. Google lowest unemployment in 50 years. Google that, and you will see articles from around 2019 about the lowest unemployment in 50 years under Trump. That's a fact. Now, here's a lie. The lie is that Biden is now creating jobs. He ain't creating nothing. What's happening is that jobs that were created under Trump are slowly eking their way back after the Democrats destroyed them with their insane COVID lockdowns and mandates and all kinds of things that destroyed businesses. Trump created the jobs, Democrat governors destroyed them, and now they're slowly making their way back, and Biden's trying to take credit for that. That's not job creation. Let me tell you another Democrat lie real quick, that Biden is bringing the price of gas down. That's a lie. It's smoke and mirrors. Oh, sure, when you go to the pump, it looks like it's a little lower, and you think to yourself, oh, gee, the gas price is coming down. It's smoke and mirrors and artificial, and when the election is over, the prices will go back up because they're not going down the correct way. They're not going down because of good policy and increased supply. They're going down because of smoke and mirrors garbage, like Biden releasing oil from the strategic reserves to artificially, temporarily lower prices because of the election. See, that kind of smoke and mirror garbage, it fools some people. And there's a lot of idiots who actually think he's bringing down gas prices, but he's not. Those are quick little cheating smoke and mirrors, temporary little doodads, which will disappear in short order, and then the prices will be right back up. In fact, they'll be up more than they were. The only way to truly lower energy prices is, as I said before, Trump policy, let energy producers produce, become an energy exporter and not an energy importer, increase supply, have market-friendly policies, and the market will react and prices will go down. So anyway, I leave you with that thought. When you hear them talking about Republicans, just ask yourself, are they actually engaging in true policy, or is it hate and all that fake January 6th bullshit? Anyway, thanks for listening again, great Americans. Remember to vote red 2022, vote red 2024, and I will see you in the next great American video. Adios, muchachos.